Much has been made about the relative inexperience of Campbell Newman's new cabinet. Two ministers in particular are on a steep learning curve. John McVeigh and David Crisafulli will sit on the government frontbench for the first time when Parliament resumes next month. Kirrin McKechnie reports.
You'd certainly be forgiven for failing to recognise more than a few faces around Campbell Newman's cabinet table. It's hardly surprising after such a seismic shift of Queensland's political landscape. But there are two people in particular who'll definitely require an introduction. First, meet David Crisafulli. He's the former Townsville Deputy Mayor who's hit the ground running as the local government minister. He's bypassed the traditional route of spending a few years warming up on the back bench and has run straight into the ministry.
Are we meeting the DG in the morning?
At just 32, he's one of the youngest members of the new LNP government, yet he has confidence aplenty.
It's important that we follow through those issues that were raised in Cabinet this morning.
After 8 years in Townsville politics, he decided to switch to the state sphere because, he says, of the way the previous Bligh Labor government treated local councils.
I was part of a level of government that I thought had been battered and bruised, and I make no apologies about that. I think local councils have been stood on and squashed for too long, and I would like to be part of a government that allows local councils to make decisions for their local people, freeing them up, getting rid of this centralist approach that somehow we think everything has to be controlled out of Brisbane.
That's music to the ears of Queensland's Local Government Association. The LGAQ's Greg Hoffman met the new minister this week.
We talked for an hour and a half, and that hasn't happened in many, many years with previous local government ministers, and that's a great start to an open relationship.
Far from being troubled about David Crisafulli's lack of parliamentary experience, Greg Hoffman insists he has exactly the right sort of experience to make much-needed changes.
He's experienced the worst of the times under the previous Labor government, and its disrespect for councils and the role of mayors and councillors. So when we are talking with him about re-engaging with councils and building a relationship built on trust, then he knows what we're talking about.
I love local government. I believe in it. I think the sector has truly copped a battering in recent times. So I don't see my role as being something that's completely foreign to me.
John, how you going? That's good.
The state's new Agriculture Minister too feels he's landed a portfolio in familiar territory.
So how many people have been knocking down your door so far?
I can show you the list if you like.
With a background in agriculture and agribusiness, John McVeigh believes he has the right credentials, although he admits he has a steep learning curve.
It's sobering. It's a massive task. I've got no illusions about the size of the challenge in front of me, but I'm very proud to be asked to prosecute those LNP policies and to implement them across the state in relation to agriculture. So for me personally, it's a tremendous honour, there's no doubt about that.
Someone who's got a bit of dirt under their fingernails and has linkages to agriculture, that's important.
Brent Finlay is the president of AgForce, the state's peak farming lobby group. He'll meet John McVeigh next week and plans to come armed with a long list, from bigger spending on research and development and biosecurity to the big one, the impact of the resources boom on farming.
We'll certainly be talking about the balance between agriculture and the resources industry. It's out of balance at the moment. Now, agriculture is the essential industry, and we've seen this massive resources boom. That's impacting on our members right across the state.
For now, John McVeigh's major priority is dismantling the previous super department of DD.
We'll become a lean and mean department that is focused on agriculture, fisheries and forestry.
We welcome that, but we're just a bit concerned about how they go about doing it, the costs associated with that.
Brent Finlay is buoyed about the prospects for primary producers under the Newman government, yet he believes the new team will have to manage the huge public expectations following its landslide election victory and turn the hype into action. But with change, he says, comes optimism, and that's a sentiment echoed by local councils.
It's a time of opportunity, and we've had a huge change in this state.
It's refreshing in many respects that these people come with open minds, new ideas and a willingness to listen and engage.